Oh. Get your hand out of my mouth. Why the? Why did you do that? Do what? Put your hand in my mouth as I was taking a nap. Uh, um, I don't know. Kaminari, I'm gonna give you 2 seconds to sit back down before I send you through the roof of this bus. Okay. And so you just let him do that? Yeah. I honestly want to know what would happen. I wanted to see if he would either bite his hand off or I don't know what would happen. Thought we were friends, but okay. Apparently not. Hi, it's me, We Anime. And I'm here to bring you part 6 of What If no, not Asta. What if Deku was Akaza's reincarnation? Today we're going over the forest training camp. Whoopie doo. On me like you. Anyways, I still have my poll running up on my channel about what we should get out of a Tundra What If. You know what? As a group, let's go check that out. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Okay. So 3 votes, same as Mondays. I'm only gonna keep this up for another week. No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Which means the first week of December it will end. I forgot to make a post on that, but I would appreciate if you would go vote on it. So how it's gonna go is the first vote to 5, well, the first option to 5, or the closest to 5. But if it keeps on going in this, like one of these, I'll just make a wheel and I'll post it on here of me spinning it. Okay. Um, so 3 options. It would have to be like the best 3 out of 7 to make it even. So they would all have it. Actually, no, it would have to be 10 rolls. I'm just gonna do 7, honestly. Um, right. So whichever one of these wins, I'll be making a what if about them, a Tundra what if. Okay. Okay. Whenever that happens. But yeah, I'm only keeping it up for another 2 weeks. Well, next week and another week. The rest of this week and the next week. The week after that. Okay. Sometime during the second week, I'll take it down and we'll see what happens. Anyways, without further ado, let me get a drink of water and then we can start this. And I think you should do. I don't know anymore. But please go vote. I need help deciding. Okay. Okay. So, everyone has been on the bus for a while now, heading to the location. Midoriya has been forced to wear a tracking device, like a bracelet. Like, it's in one of the beaded bracelets on his ankles, right? so they know where he is at all times, so he doesn't go and run away. Okay, because even though he has been doing well, uh, been a good prisoner technically, he is still untrusted by many people, right? So to please the higher ups and many others, they were told either don't have him go or put a tracking device on them, and he isn't allowed to take it off, or he is in big trouble, and blah blah blah. Right. So he was told to wear this. Okay. With that, they would stop visiting. Well, in a like a drive off way, a stopping area. Midoriya and everyone else would stand up and head out. He would give a glare to Kaminari, who would look away and like look down, like they would all head out, meeting two heroes, two members of the Wild Wild Pussycats, Mandalay and Pixie Bob. These two, being who they are, they would explain stuff, and then they would all get thrown off of a cliff. Midoriya would just like do this cool like cross arm thing and just would stand straight, and he wouldn't like falter in a fall at all. Just like doing, the ground would like crater a little bit from the impact of him just landing from it. Like he's not bending his knees to fall either. Just boom, right? He would look up and say, "Y'all could have had a softer landing." Mm-hmm. Aizawa would look over and say, he would point in a direction and say, "It's that way." And then he would just walk off. They could hear the bus restarting and then heading off along with a car. With the car, other. Midori would say, "I hate that I like him." They would all start heading through, fighting off the mud monsters one by one. Midori wouldn't be doing very much, honestly. Right? Not doing much. He would just, if he was attacked by one of them, he would just as it would get closer, get in his stance quickly, and then just like backhand it or attack it in a way that would instantly like crater it down, like break its head, and then it would just fall to the ground. And yeah, doing that, they would all be scared of Midoriya even more than they are. Kaminari would say, "I really regret doing that." And Kirishima would be right beside him and say, "Yeah, but don't worry. I'll come to your funeral." Midori would just keep on walking, keeping a steady pace, fighting all these away, as the others would be having a difficult time with this. Midori would just keep on walking. And then he would make it there a couple minutes before everyone else. It is still a far range to walk. Like it would still take Midoriya quite a long time to get there. Uh, I'd say like 30 minutes before everyone else. Okay. Midoriya would come through the woods, the wooden, like the wood line, well, the fort. You get my point. Sighing as he would just keep on walking. He would just kind of blink, like just a slow, like, like you could see his knuckles are slightly bruised and cut open from hitting these. They were mostly like a rock hard, so it didn't feel good hitting it, but he could do it. His like feet are also like dirty and like they usually are, just like muddy and dust and blood, but not from his feet. It is just from his knuckles dripping, and a little bit from his head. Like the back of his head is kind of like this, like matted with blood because one of them did get sneak. He did get sneak up on by two of them. Like he saw the one, and then the other one just kind of boom whacked him on the back of the head and cracked his head open. Now the wound did eventually seal itself up, but the blood still is there. That doesn't clean itself. Right. Either way, he would keep on walking, just not stopping at the glares or words being said to him by the heroes. He would just keep on walking, sitting down at the end of a table, grabbing his own food. As one bee would also walk up, Monoma would say, "What? Why is there only one A student here?" He would start dogging on the class, like, "You all suck. Why isn't everyone else here?" And then everyone else walks through the forest, like the forest line, wood line. I forget what it's called. But the end of the forest, everyone would walk through, like bruised, and there would be dirt on their clothes. Midori would say, "I don't know, but I'm guessing they're right there because of your face." As he would just continue eating. Then you'd hear Yanagi say, "Spooky." Midori would turn and say, "What does that mean? I've heard you say it about something about me multiple times, and I'm confused." And then Kendo would say, "Oh, it's her own way to say, like cool and awesome." That doesn't make sense to me. It will eventually if you get to know her. I don't think it will. She kind of creeps me out, honestly. Looks like someone I knew. Ugh. He would keep on eating, though. Then, hearing slash feeling the vibrations on his phone, he would already be done eating. Everyone else is halfway done. Midori would say, "I'm gonna take this." He would walk away behind the building. Well, not like to the side of it, answering the phone, seeing that it's Night Eye. He doesn't remember giving his phone number to Night Eye, though. He would recognize the number. He doesn't know that it's Night Eye. Okay, I forgot. I forgot how phones worked. Um, he would know of the number because it was Hawk said, "Hey, hey." He's getting like a flashback moment, just like he'd look up like to the side, and it would be like the speech bubble, and you could see Hawks' face, and it would be saying, "Hey, I forgot to mention, I gave your number to a guy, Sir Night Eye or something. So expect his call It's real good. You'll love it, kid. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Right. Midori would answer and say, "Hello? Yes. Is this one Izuku Midoriya?" "It is. And you are?" "I am Sir Night-Eye. I've heard and saw the info you have gathered on the people known as the Crossers, right?" "Yes." "Well, I'm having an instivate. I'm looking into your info and my own and comparing it. These Red Crossers, what do you know of them?" "Well, if you've already read the information, then you should already know." "Yes, but I want to hear it in your own words." But either way, before you do that, we should have more in-depth talk. See, I would like to talk. Some point in time. Okay, why are you talking like this? I got hit by a quirk. Not really. I don't know. I got hit in the throat, okay? Either way, what do you know of the Red Crossers? Like, once again, you saw my info, my entire multiple pages of my information. They're part of a Yakuza group called the Shihei Hasaikai. The leader is Kai Chisaki, or better known as Overhaul. I took the Red Crossers down, the rest of them, while their leader has been locked up for many of years, but broken out during a point in time with his quirk, Sky Lord, and with the power of wind, just kind of poof, felt him uh, about a year later from that point. A little behind the fact when before I actually got to UA. Took him down and gathered more information. What I'm learning is what happened in my past is because of the Shihei Hasaikai. But since you want a more in-depth talk, we can talk about it later. Thank you for contacting me, Night-Eye, sir. I'll talk to you later. Yes, you will. Hanging up, putting his phone back in his pocket, going his own way into the um, main building, and for the next few days, Midoriya wouldn't really train. He would train by himself with no help. Training like he usually does. Training is his own, his martial art stances and training like that. Training his quirk a little bit, like using it more and right. He would be talked to by others, the all around like 1B and 1A students about training, and for the people who do also do martial arts, talking to them about their own like martial arts, like what they have trained in. I believe it's karate and taekwondo. I don't really know. I know Kendo and Ojiro did do, I think, because they seem like they did. I don't know though. I haven't really read up on like their characters in depth. I will do that at some point. I do need to, at least. I want to now. But either way, talking about how how their own martial arts work, right? Learning stuff from each other, sparring with only their own martial art training. Learning that Midoriya is like insanely good at this, like crazy good. Just and after telling them a little bit more about himself, like he's done this for almost entirely in his entire life. A little bit before the age of 5, when his mother signed over custody to his sensei, because, well, mother's a bad person, not like a villain, just couldn't take care of him enough. So, and you've heard it. He would explain that to them. Um, right, teaching them that, telling them how the Soru style actually works, or the basics of it. Like, yeah, destructive power, blah blah blah, 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 blah. Talking more about that over these days until the day we currently see Midoriya sleeping on top, well, not on top, but on a branch on a tree, laying there sleeping, half sleeping. What smoke? You look over towards the the main building. There's no smoke there. Like they don't have a fire there. He would be able to smell it, and plus it's way past dinner time, right? And then looking around, seeing blue flames wrapping around in a circle around the training camp. Midori would say, "Well, I guess they're making their move. They would do it at some point. Jeez, never knew it would be this quick. Wonder who they're after." Doesn't really matter. Not my issue. He would close his eyes again. Then hearing screaming. Hearing someone say, "Put me down! Let go of me! You're a monster." Midoriya's eyes would open wide and look to his right, seeing nothing but looking towards the direction the sound is coming from. Jumping through tree to tree, finally reaching the ground, and then running up quickly, seeing a guy in a cloak holding up the kid that stays at the training camp. Midori would run in quick. He would say, leg type, crown splitter. He would run up, do a reverse rising axe kick to the top of this guy's head without a second thought. The shockwave coming off of it would boom, boom, fire, create two loud bangs throughout the area. This would send the guy flying back. Midoriya would grab Kota falling down as he would say, "You okay?" And Kota would say, "Yeah, but I didn't need your help." "Sure. Hey, you know this guy?" "No. At least I don't think." "Well, I guess I finally get to meet the man known as Izuku Midoriya, huh? I've heard a lot of stuff about you, kid. I've always wanted to meet you. I want to see what the damage you could do. The name's Muscular. As he would rip off his cloak. Yeah. Cool. Sweet. Hey, kid. Head back. Now. What about you? What, you worried? Way too young for you to worry about me. I won't give up. Compass needle! Under his feet would be a snowflake-shaped compass underneath its feet, with numbers ranging from 1 to 12. Right now, in this very moment, Muscular would be an 8. Halfway between 8 and 9. Midori would realize this and say, well, aren't you a sweet pickle? He would dash, just doom, 8-layered demon core. Doom, 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 doom. He would strike 8 times. Each strike would get a even more powerful shockwave with it. Just boom, 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 boom. Muscular would add more and more muscle each time. It's still doing a little bit of damage. Midoriya then would crouch down low and say, leg type, flying planet 1,000 wheels. And go to his back and do a tip up with his both feet going under Muscular's chin, this sending him and flying into the air. As Midoriya would use air type disorder, punching multiple times, each shockwave getting more and more powerful. Well, these shockwaves going through the air are about a family dinner, like a dinner table, like a circular dining table size. Just these all hitting Muscular in different areas of the body, even though he is fully muscled up, he's blocking it as best as he can. But sometimes the best isn't enough. Each shockwave hitting him would blow off a chunk of muscle. Midori would say, there we go. One more time. He would blast up in the air, leg type explosive flurry, kicking multiple times in a row. Just do. These shockwaves would cause a rippling effect across his body each hit, in blowing off a bigger chunk of muscle than the last. As he would be above him now, he would grab Muscular by the head that would be exposed and throw it up even higher. And then bringing his arms down low to his waist, and him being upside down, looking down at a nearly unconscious Muscular, he would say, you better wake up or you're dead. Annihilation type. Launching down, bringing both fists into his pec area, just launching him down into the side of the mountain. This cratering him into it, leaving him stuck. This also leaving him unconscious. Midoriya would then run towards where a large spike of ice would fly through the air. Well, I see two ways to go. He'd be looking at two things: a massive dark shadow and a large ice um, area. And Dark Shadow is moving towards that area. He would also see thin white like spikes flying through the air. Well, I guess that's where I'm going. First, launching forward, he would see a gash, a cloud of gas throughout this area. He would say, my sensei did inject me with all that poison as a kid. Let's go! Venom. It's venom, not poison. I'm dumb. Running through it without a care in the world, breathing it in. He's immune, okay? He's immune to this gas for many reasons. See, as we all know, his sensei was a villain. Not really an ex-villain. He's always been a villain. Who had a front as a dojo sensei, teaching him their style, because that's what his family did. Right? But his sisters and his two sisters and a brother didn't want to do it, didn't want to continue it, but Midoriya Sensei did. Now that dojo's destroyed, and well, the sensei is now gone from this world. He passed away during that fight. Well, on the way to the hospital. He actually arrived at the hospital, but he passed into the hospital. Um, but when Midori was younger, around 6, 5, or like beginning his journey there, like fully in custody of this sensei, right? Learning from him and multiple other things. He would inject venom into his body so that his body could make anti-venom for multiple different like powerful venoms or poisons in this world, right? Just creating a super soldier over like the next 5 years. Like once he was 10, you could have got him bit by a black mamba or a taipan, like very venomous snakes, and he would have lived because his body made anti-venom for everything. Like, or even artificial poisoning. Like, artificial poisoning. So this is nothing to him. Either way, he would run through it. Right? Eventually finding its cause. Mustard. Yeah, the first time I've ever mentioned this guy. He would see Kendo and Tetsu fighting Mustard. And you want to know what Midoriya did? He grabbed the firearm out of his hand and shot him in the leg twice. And then 2 in the kneecaps, and then just waylaid him in the face and broke the mask. And then just threw the firearm to the ground and said, "You two get out of here," as he would keep on running towards the direction of the large dark shadow. Well, not right. He's not large now, but he was. But eventually making it there, finding a group of kids, the group of kids as in canon, but instead of Midoriya, it's Melissa, right? He would Say, hi, you all. Okay, okay? Yeah, what else do you expect? Lines? Not my name, but okay. What happened to him? And what happened to you? Oh, I kinda fought. I could tell. What happened to Tokoyami? Dark Shadow took control and... Well, Moonfish is down. Who? Moonfish. Villain? I could care less. Then, Midoriya would hit two things out of the thin air. Two marbles would be flying through, and it would open up into two large rocks. Midoriya would just boom, boom, break them down, as a voice would say, "Oh, I guess my plan did not go through, huh? Well, either way, I'm here to make my entrance. Hello, I am Mr. Compress, and I am here to put on a show." This guy pisses me off. Todoroki, freeze him. Todoroki would step on the ground as a large iceberg would just... Well, that was a little unfair, but I'm still here. And I would like Katsuki Bakugo. What? Me? Yeah, right, you're not getting me. Two large explosions would fire off from Bakugo as he would just shoot him up. Midori would say, "Idiot!" Excuse me. And then Bakugo would be captured. As as Compress, you know how he would go around getting two chunks of ice and then bing bada boom, boom da bing. But instead of that, he would still get the two chunks of ice in those two marbles. But Midori would just plain out punch the giant iceberg and it would break. Oh. Either way, breaking that would make nothing really better. Everything would end up the same. Tokuyami would be captured and then he would be let free and then, yeah. But as all the villains would arrive, multiple would recognize Midoriya, the likes of Dabi, Magnum, um, Toga twice. I believe he was there. Midori would also recognize the portal, this being Kurogiri. And Midori would say, of course, he's here. He would just kind of stare off with everyone as he would say, "Where's your boss? The whole entire handyman? Or is he too scared to do his own job?" As he would rip off his one of the beads that has a tracking device in it. See, they all have separate tracking devices in them. He would just leave the whole entire beaded bracelet into his pocket, as he would then swiftly throw it through with ease. Like, it would be so fast that nobody really sees it. It would just go through, end up where they are going, right? as they would take Bakugo through. Midori would then say, well, he won't be there for long. As the heroes would track him down via the bead, finding him, breaking out Bakugo with ease, right? All Might versus All for One would happen, All for One being defeated, and Midori saying, it's your turn, right? Anyways, that's going to end it here today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Roll the dice, and bye.